August, and this year's triathletes will swim, cycle and run to raise money to fight blindness. Sponsor your Cityjet triathletes on the 9th and 10th of August and support Fighting Blindness in their world-leading research into the cures and treatments for blindness. We visited Fighting Blindness Vision Research at the National Institute for Cellular Biotechnology. Fighting Blindness has been working for 25 years to help find cures for the 65,000 Irish adults and children who suffer from retinal degenerative diseases. Fighting Blindness is totally committed to finding treatments and cures for all forms of blindness and related sensory loss through the promotion of research. So we asked Professor Michael Kummer to tell us more.
It has to do with chips, not the fish and chip kind, but these kind of chips. These are DNA chips. The human genome is composed of about 32,000 genes. And all of those genes are on this chip. This gives us the opportunity to test a sample from a patient, for example, which will tell us which genes are switched on and which genes are switched off in certain diseases. There's €1,000 in your hand now.
Oh my God. So who pays €1,000?
Well, the Institute has to buy them. Yeah.
So what kinds of research are you involved in?
Well, we are mainly concerned with regenerative or degenerative diseases of the eye. We're spending at the moment roughly on four different fields, four different areas of research which offer us the main promise. These four areas would be under the sort of general headings of genetics and gene therapy, cells and cell therapy. But we're also engaged in the kind of science fiction stuff, you know, where the bionic eye. Yeah. And indeed, there's been huge success, not in Ireland, but in other parts of the world, in both the United States and in Germany, where they've implanted electrodes into the eye, which have given blind people the ability to see numbers, to see light and dark, and so on. So we are funding a project in the Tyndall Institute in Cork, which will keep us abreast with those kind of developments. And of course, the fourth area which we're funding is that in diseases like age-related macular degeneration, it's actually cells dying off. And you may have heard of apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. That is the mechanism in the body which actually makes the cells commit suicide. And so if you can prevent that, you can prevent the degeneration of the sight. And of course, at the moment, we're funding 12 projects throughout Ireland, and indeed also partly in the UK, where we would be looking at these kind of areas of research to the sum of about 1.2 million a year. But unfortunately, that's not enough. It's a lot, but not enough. We would like to get that up to something like 5 million a year, and running our own institute. Okay.
Do the government provide funding as well?
The government provide limited funding. Like in most research areas, which are fundamental, they're competitive, so they stand against other diseases, children's diseases, which are not related to blindness, but other things like cancer and so on and so forth. So it's a huge competition out there, and we need to get the money in order to make the progress.
So how many people around the world potentially could this research, just from this place here, could this help?
Well, probably on this very day, we're talking somewhere in the region of 40 to 50 million people who have got impaired sight, which would be regarded as blindness.
Okay.
So
what does it mean to have someone like Cityjet, even though we're quite a small organisation? If we could fundraise for your organisation, what would that mean for you, even if it's quite small?
Well, every little helps. Believe you me, every little helps. But it's not only that, it's the commitment of a company like yours, who have a world reputation, that advertises for us that what we're doing is good for everyone, and that a company like Cityjet would be interested in helping us to fund that research, I think it's a tremendous step forward and a signal for everyone else to follow. There's a cancer cell line which is called HeLa, and HeLa was the name of a woman called Helen Lane, who lived in the United States in the 30s, and she had cervical cancer, and those cells taken from her cervix are still in many laboratories of the world today, although she's long since dead.
And are they still reproducing themselves?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Immortalised.
Why is that?
If we knew that, we would have the answer to a lot of things.
Could we learn how to live forever?
That's a bit speculative, but I'm working on it.